Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Taylor Thought Tuesdays. Um, and today we're going to be talking about consistency in your clothing and the challenges that come within that space. Um, and part of this is kind of inspired because this week has been a challenging week. It's only Tuesday, but it feels like a long week. Just getting some business stuff in order, building this brand, and trying to get everything focused and very streamlined. And so these are two of the things that I'm going to pose to you. When you are putting on your clothes or when you're going through your closet, is there a consistency in what you're looking to say? Now, a lot of guys will tell you, and a lot of people in style will tell you, you need to have diversity in your wardrobe. And I do agree with that, but it should still have a consistent statement. It should still have something that people can point to and say, this is what he's representing. Especially in menswear, it's so easy to say that, you're not going to put me in a box, but people make inferences based off the information that you give them. So if your information is all over the place, it makes it very hard for people to understand you and your point of view. And I'm learning that even when I'm doing my branding and when I'm setting up different types of things, that there has to be a consistency in how I engage with you, what I focus on when I'm engaged with you, so that I can pour all my energy, all my resources into those spaces to make sure that you as my clients, as my friends, as the people who are learning from me, have what you need. And what happens a lot of times when it comes to our style is, again, we're bombarded with all this additional outside information that really has no relevance to us, that we end up making these impulsive decisions so that our closets and our wardrobes end up being all over the place. So my question to you is, how committed are you to your character? How committed are you to your story and telling your story to the world? And I ask that because even in my business over the last couple of weeks, really months, it's been kind of a back and forth with myself, with my internal compass, saying, how much are you willing to sacrifice? How far are you willing to go to really cultivate and develop this business or this passion project to help men really discover who they are and what they're looking to represent? Because in all in all honesty, it could take me, completely clearing out my closet because it's not representative of me, or taking out all of the things that aren't representative of me. And I got quite a few clothes that would need to be removed in order to start over, and maybe just staying simplistic for, a while, because these are the things that accurately fit, represent, and promote me. And I've seen other business people, even in the menswear industry, have to do that. When I was a intern at Alan Flusser during this financial divorce that they were having, not to put their business out there, but um, I had a mentor there who wore three different suits every day, because or every week, because he didn't have the money to start buying new suits and to make sure that his wardrobe was extended. And even since then, I don't think he's bought but like two more suits, so he's still wearing kind of the same suits on a day-to-day basis, which has kind of solidified his style inadvertently. But we have to do what we have to do, and we have to make sure that we're positioning ourselves beyond the ridicule, beyond the criticisms, to hear what our internal compass is saying and what our character is speaking to. Because if it's not speaking to who you are, then it starts showing up as inconsistent. And actually, it's when we are consistent despite hardships or despite, issues that may be happening, that people really start to take notice. It's when that guy is walking to work and it's 15 miles to work, but he's walking it every day and he's making sure that he's still getting to work on time, that people be like, man, this dude is showing resiliency, and he's walking 15 miles home. Like, yo, he really wants this job, or he's really committed to this, and that can open up the door for blessings. If you're really committed to, even for me, if I see a guy who's really committed to dressing up or just dressing in suits and casual wear, and my focus is not on the business suit, it's focused on that casual space that a lot of people aren't really dealing with, that leisurely sophistication. And I see a kid who's doing that, and he may be 20 and that doesn't have access to, the funds to get him where he wants to get sartorially. Then I have no problem making a donation to that kid and saying, yo, here's some shoes, here's a suit, here's a shirt. So you now have a full look that you can use, and you can begin to utilize. And part of that for me is that I know that kid is gonna probably wear that piece out. He's gonna wear that suit out, like, and be like, yo, I love this, and I know that because I've done that. I've gotten stuff from people. These hats, shout out to Flame Keepers Hat Club, have been given to me, but I wear these more. I'm wear these out like until they can't be worn anymore. And part of that is because of the storyline that's in there, the energy from the people that have worn them before have been positive and wonderful people, and so it's easy for me to build on those things. But I'm not gonna lie, the consistency in my clothing is not an easy thing. It's not always the most understandable thing. It's not always the most well received thing because other people may be uncomfortable with how I'm dressing. Other people may not understand what I'm expressing. And one of my biggest frustrations over the last 6 months is feeling like I'm misunderstood. And that's a hard thing to accept, is that certain people just may not understand you, either because you're being unclear in your clothing and in your representation and in your expression, or you simply may be in an elevated state that they can't fully embrace yet. And that may be, if the latter is true, then you just have to be patient or be okay with the fact that they may never understand what you are talking about. You got a cat who's listening to trap music all the time and will not diversify his palette of sound. You can't get mad at him if you can appreciate, Sebastian Beethoven, or Sebastian Bach. I'm sorry, or Beethoven, or Miles Davis, or Coltrane, or the Mamas and the Papas, or the Monkees, or the Gorillas, or all these different types of genres of music. And he's like, man, shout out what you listening to. That's terrible. Like, turn that shit off. And you like, man, but this is good music. Like, this is soul music. You don't hear the soul, in Muddy Waters. You don't hear the soul in Nancy Wilson. You don't hear the soul, in the Isley Brothers. Like, you can't hear that. Matter of fact, one of the trappers took one of these samples from the song and used it in a beat. Like, you don't hear the correlation. Don't get mad if they can't appreciate your sophistication and what you are representing, just because sometimes people just can't get it, and you got to let them be where they are. But maintain consistency, and tomorrow we'll be talking on Style Speaks about that consistency in your clothing and why it's so important to your character, to who you're representing yourself, the roles you're playing, and also the character, the integrity of your image. So I just want you to try that on. How committed are you to your clothing? Some of you guys may not be. Some of you guys may be saying, I mean, it just is what it is. I'm waiting for the next trend. And some of you guys may be saying, no, I'm really trying to figure out what my character is going to be saying when I put it on. And if it's the latter, then make sure that you check out stylearchitects.com, where we can help you redesign your frame of mind. We can help you get to that space where you are really focusing on you, and we can clear out all that white noise beside you and make sure that you are telling your story through your style. So it's Tuesday. We strength training. We getting stronger. We getting smarter. We getting more agile. We getting quicker in how we move. So continue to dress for the occasion. Continue to make sure that you are being great, because you are great. I'm great. You're great. And make sure that you don't ever forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind. So make sure that you always dress to express. See you tomorrow. Peace.